It's not quite unique, you know, we've already been to Stirling, so you've seen the castle at Stirling built on top of a volcanic plug. Well, this is exactly the same. But this is one of the best examples of what's called a crag and tail. I don't know if you have any budding geologists. But what happened was 350 million years ago, there was a lot of volcanic activity in this area. So this would have been lava, very hard basalt rock. Up until about 10,000 years ago, we had various ice ages, and one of the glaciers in the ice age came from the west, which is in that direction. It came along, it suddenly met the hard rock of the basalt. It couldn't go through it, so it had to go round it. So it went round the rock, and then it deposited a lot of debris at the eastern end. And this is what's called a crag and tail. So you have the crag here, and then it's a tail formation. So for all you budding geologists, this is a typical example. When humans eventually followed, you know, by the time we get to the time of the Romans, there was a local tribe in this area called the Votadini. So they thought this would have been an obvious place for one of their fortresses. They had various fortresses throughout this area. There was a lot of these volcanic plugs, but this was one of the main ones in Edinburgh. Then by the time, we'll jump a couple of hundred years up until the 1100s, we had a king called Malcolm Canmore. He met a Saxon lady, a lady called Queen Margaret. They got married, and then they established a lot of the church that you're going to see today. But like Stirling, it's been built over hundreds of years. You know, there's going to be a lot up there from the 1500s, a lot up there from the 1700s. It's been still a military base now, so you will see soldiers going about as well. There's still the headquarter buildings up there as well. We're going to go over the drawbridge. Either side of the drawbridge, there's two of Scotland's great heroes, Robert the Bruce and William Wallace. So you'll see King Robert the Bruce, he's the one with the crown, and William Wallace, the great fighter, he's the man with the sword. There's 7 gates to get from here up to the castle, so whoever tried to invade the castle, you know, they had a lot to go through. Similar to Stirling, it's all cliffs on one edge. This would have been, if anybody was going to attack, this would have been the way they came in. That's why you have all the guns. This is the Half Moon Battery up the top. This was put up there in the 1500s, purely to protect the castle from this side. So we're going to go across the drawbridge, up to the right. I'm not allowed to talk until we get up into the castle proper. So we will go through 7 series of gates. All you'll see nowadays are some hinges on the walls where the gates used to be. You're going to see a portcullis above us. You know, these are the big jagged gates that would have fell down, you know, and chopped your heads off. There was a siege in the 1500s. There was a man called Kirkcaldy of Grange. He held the castle. It was under siege of the opposing forces of Mary Queen of Scots. He held it under siege for 33 days. Then he was eventually, he gave up. He says, look, if you give up, we'll let you go free, nothing will happen. So he listened to them. He gave up the castle, and he promptly had his head chopped off. That's the sort of thing we did in those days. It's only been taken probably twice by force. In 1314, some of the supporters of Robert the Bruce, they managed to come up the north face, and you see that when you're down in Princess Street, you see the steep north face. Some of Robert the Bruce's supporters came up, surprised the guards, and they took the castle by force. Okay, so what we're going to do now is walk across the drawbridge, walk slowly up onto the next level of the castle, and then I'll tell you a little bit more there. As